Howdy there, folks! How are y'all doing? My name is Rees, and welcome to the start of a brand new modded Minecraft series. This is StoneBlock 2, the sequel, unsurprisingly, to StoneBlock, which is a series that I just wrapped up. Didn't get as far as I would have liked, but the new one came out and I decided to hop right into it, so we're going to go into single player. And I do have a test world where I did a live stream. Oof, it's been like a week ago now, just to see what was different and how the start would compare to the original. It's pretty much the same. There's a few different things. So we're going to call this LP for Let's Play World. We're going to leave it on survival. More options. We are going to make the seed. How about we just type in Nether? And we hope that somehow that means that when we create a portal to the Nether, there will be another fortress. That's not how seeds work at all. But we can dream. If when we get to the Nether in a future episode we cannot find another fortress, don't worry. We'll just go on a fun grand adventure full of hijinks and lots of death, and it'll be a good old time, I'm sure. Now, it's taking a little while to load the world. That's a bit concerning. I'm just sitting here waiting. Okay, here we are. We're right in, and a couple of things to note. I don't know what stonium is. You spawn with it. It says pet rock, so it's from the pet rock mod. We do also have a pet rock. Where did it go? There you are. Can we give it the stonium? We can, but I don't know. Oh, it's leveled up. How about that? We're best friends with it now. It's not so sad anymore. Can we do anything with it? It doesn't appear as though we can. Okay, well, we've got a pet rock. Maybe we'll get a name tag and we can give it a better name. Until then, we got to start punching cobblestone with our bare hands. Well, no, we punch regular stone with our bare hands. And that'll give us little pieces of stone. I think you get 2 for each piece of stone that you break. You get these here little pebbles, and you can transform them into cobblestone. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Maybe it's the excitement. I'm just so full of joy at the fact that we get to play through another Minecraft mod pack. And with that, we should now have 64 stone pebbles. Wait, no, I've miscounted. I've got 2 random ones all by themselves over here. Mistakes were made. But we should now be able to check our quest book, which is sadly not a Game Boy. This is the same quest book. You might be familiar with it if you've played Sky Adventures or some other mod packs. I don't like it as much as what we had previously, but I don't get to make decisions. So pebbles are obtained by breaking stone with an empty hand. We got 16 pebbles. We get a random reward. It looks like we got 2 ender tanks. That's a pretty good random reward. So that's how it tells you what the reward is now. You don't get the satisfaction of opening up a reward crate anymore. They just kind of pop into your inventory. And if you have a cluttered inventory and you're not paying attention, you might miss what it is you got. So make sure you keep an eye up there when you click get your reward. Oh my good gosh! So these are randomized rewards right here. See, random reward. And our random reward was a Cobblestone Generator. So usually to build one of these... Wait, what level is this? Okay, I was going to say it's not... Usually you'd need cobblestone, some lava, some water, and a piece of glass. So that normally takes a little while to get a hold of. But goodness gracious me, we've got one right off the bat, which means in order to progress further, I don't need to break any more pebbles, because we'll just start generating cobblestone automatically. That's spectacular. So you can right-click on it. There you can see the cobblestone going up very slowly. Or you can automate the extraction. I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's go ahead and open up the quest book, and it wants us to create a stone crafting table and a stone chest. So we can do that using cobblestone. That'll give us our stone crafting table. Which you can then actually just skip straight ahead to getting a crafting station, which is what I would recommend, because the cool thing about a crafting station is you can put items in it, and they won't fly away. So with this cobblestone, we're going to put it in there like so, just like that. I think it is shaped crafting, so you do have to put it in there in some form of diagonal order. Yeah. That'll give us our cobblestone parts. We're going to get 8 of those. You don't have to get 8 of them, but we are, because that's going to generate our... Oh, that's not the right recipe. Like I said, you don't need 8 of them. 4 of them will create a cobblestone chest. And we're going to create 2 cobblestone chests, because another cool thing you can do with the crafting station is put a chest next to it, and it'll automatically access the inventory of that chest in the crafting station, which is cool. We can also put a cobblestone chest on top of here, and we can't open it because there's a block on top of it, but once that block goes bye-bye, it'll automatically deposit its cobblestone into the chest. Now we can speed this up by adding, I think, iron? I believe, but we don't have iron at the moment, so we'll have to wait for that. In the meantime, we can claim our random rewards. So we got hoppers, also a very good reward, and we got some chance cubes. Ooh, those are going to be fun. Next up, it wants us to make dirt. So for that, I think what we ought to do is get ourselves some sort of tool. I know that you can get a crook, but that's not really useful. We will need that later on as part of the quest. In fact, right up next, we're going to need a crook, so we might as well go ahead and make it and have it. You just do that with 4 stone. We should probably... we're going to need a hammer, aren't we? So let's see if we can create some stone rods and combine those with cobblestone. Hey, we can get a stone hammer pretty easily. How about that? And with the stone hammer, we can start to break down our cobblestone, and it'll give us dirt. So I think it'll give us gravel first. Here's a hot tip for you. If you hold down the grave key, which is underneath escape and just above tab, if you hold that down, it also has tilde on it. If you know what either of those things are, hold that down, and you can vein mine or excavate. I think it's called ore excavation is the exact mod, which is pretty much just a modern remake of vein mining. So, excuse me there, rock creature. I would like to replace my torch for better lighting. I hope you don't mind. I like your hat, by the way. Very festive. You're a bit late on that, though. Anyway, holding down the grave key allows you to break multiples of a single object, but I don't think it works with a bare hand. You have to use either a tool, or in fact, you could just use any random object. If we held down the grave key while breaking the gravel using this stonium, it would break all the gravel, but it wouldn't give us dirt. We got to use the hammer to get the dirt, and then we're going to put the dirt down. Oh, look at that. We've completed a couple of quests. So the quest to get how much dirt? Just 1, and a stone hammer. We did that. And that's given us some void metal ingots, which will be useful for something, I'm sure. And then we've got a stone crook already. I made that earlier. And that's gotten us some draconic cores. Hey, I don't know what that means. I'm sure someone in the chat can tell me, though. So now we're going to use that crook that we made on the dirt. And that's going to give us our saplings. And it's given us quite the selection, too. So we can choose from any of these here. I think that I'll go with... Do we have a vanilla one? Those are sort of the easiest to get growing because they don't have any... specific, peculiar growing requirements. Now, I did make a mistake. I did not think to keep one of the pieces of dirt, so that's a good idea. If you're thinking about it, don't use up all of your dirt to get saplings, because you don't need that many saplings. All right, there we go. We've got our dirt. We can throw a sapling on there, and we can begin to twerk like a madman, and that tree will start to glisten and glow, and if we keep doing this, eventually that tree... will sprout up. There we go. I was talking slowly so that hopefully it would happen without me having to do a cut, because when it comes to editing, I'm lazy. Something to note is if you break any type of wood, you can get some wood chippings using the hammer, and wood chippings can be used to make paper, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to, we're just going to use some dirt, and that'll cut down all the wood, but before we do that, we're going to use the crook on the leaves, and that's going to give us a ton of saplings, and then I was hoping... it would also, but it didn't. It was supposed to also give us some worms. Unfortunately, it did not. Like I was saying, though, look, just any object in your hand while holding down the grave/tilde key, and you can cut down everything in one go. Hey, there we go. Okay, we got some silkworms that time. That's what I was looking for. Good. So you got to use the crook on the leaves to get the silkworms. There's no other ways to get them. By the way, it's not just the stone ingots you can use. You can use just any blunt object. An axe would be faster, and perhaps I should build one, because I have what I need to build one. It wouldn't be all that complicated. We've almost got 2 stacks of cobblestone over there, which is pretty handy. Okay, so we can't build an axe like that. We do have wood, though, and I can sacrifice one of our wood to get regular sticks to make ourselves an axe and cut things down a little bit quicker. Hey, there we go, and we got a couple of tasks completed up there, so let's check, and as you can see... we needed the wood, so we'll redeem. And then this, we got the silkworms, but we don't have any string. So in order to complete this one, we need to get some string, which means we need to grow another tree. And once this one is at full size, we're not going to cut it down. We're going to instead infect it with our silkworms. The silkworms will go all up into the leaves and start to string or spin a web. Do they spin a web? Are they like spiders? I have no idea. But they'll turn all of the leaves into infested leaves, I think it's called. And then when you take those down, oh, that's quite a large tree. That's perfect for this. We have 6 silkworms, and I'm going to use, not all of them. I'll hold on to a couple. I don't need to hold on to a couple. We can always get more, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get hungry later, and we'll need them. We'll put them inside of that chest. You can cook them up and eat them if you're into that. But as you can see, they start to spread, and that's our infected meter. Once it hits 100, we can break that leaf, and it'll drop a bunch of string. And I think you can do it with any tool. We're going to use the crook, though. Also, I have a spawner changer. I wasn't paying attention to the rewards from the last quest that we completed. Spawner changer must have been one of them. I don't know what it does, but it sounds to me, and I could be wrong, that you can use it to change what spawns out of a monster spawner, and if that is the case, that might come in real handy in the future. How are we doing here? So as you can see, progress is done pretty much all the way around. I'm going to break out the crook. This might be the last thing our crook does. It didn't even finish the task. Bless its heart. It croaked right then and there. Well, actually, it did more of a clunk sound. We'll get another crook. We'll finish the job. And we'll also bring down the tree. And I'm going to go ahead and plant another one, even though I'd much rather get a bonsai pot. So if you don't know what a bonsai pot is, pretty much automates the process of growing trees and cutting them down. And if you get a hopping bonsai, it'll automatically deposit the goods into a chest. It's just a great time saver. We might even be able to make one of those today, since getting this cobblestone generator has sped us up so much. For right now, though, we've completed the Silk Road. We're going to get our reward, which is some epic bacon, which is a very solid food supply. Mining dimension, we could do that, or we could go straight for the scythe. I'm going to say, let's do the scythe first, because we've got everything we need for it. We've got string to make a mesh. Excellent. And then we've got plenty of wood up here. I think in order to build this, we're going to need a few more planks. And then we've got 2 sticks. Hold on a second. We first have to make a slab. And then we put planks to either side and sticks on the bottom. That'll give us our scythe. How about that? We are getting all kinds of rewards here. What do you think we're going to get from this one? More chance cubes! Hey, that's great! I hope things don't go horribly, horribly wrong when we open those, because they definitely could. Now, the scythe is pretty basic. You throw it down, you put some mesh in there, and when you right-click holding something like, let's say, dirt, it'll go through and it'll pull things out of the dirt. So in that instance, it pulled out some more stone pebbles, but you also have the potential to get other things that aren't stone pebbles, I think? Looks like we're mostly only getting stone pebbles. What you can do is you can hover over dirt and hit U, go over to scythe, and it'll show you that it should also potentially drop seeds, sugarcane seeds, potato seeds, pumpkin seeds, grass seeds. I'm going to keep going with this because I would like to get some food seeds, because man cannot live on epic bacon alone, as spectacular as that would be. Trust me, that is my diet of choice. There we go. We've got some other objects. So let's go ahead and turn all the stone pebbles into cobblestone, because they don't serve any other purpose. I think you can throw them at people. It's not that great, is it? But we've also got some potato seeds, some pumpkin seeds. Not the best haul, but it's something at least. There's an upgraded version of this that you can make that'll allow you to process 9 blocks at a time, and there is a quest for that to make the heavy scythe, so we'll do that as well, I suppose. The recipe, I think, is even simpler. Check this out. If you put 2 oak wood on top of each other, you can make 16 sticks at a time, which is awesome, I think. And then you can do this and make yourself a heavy oak scythe. We can take the mesh out of here by shift right-clicking, and then we can put it inside of here, presumably do the same thing to get it back out. And like I was saying, you can do 9 blocks at a time, so we're going to need a bit more gravel to do that. I'm going to take this back out, put down 9 stone, and we will hammer that pop into gravel. If you either take the gravel, you can put it all in here like this to create a compressed gravel. Alternatively, here's a cool trick. You can set it in there and click shift-click spread grid. It'll automatically spread them all out. Or if you just have them sitting in your inventory and you hover over it, you can press K, and it'll automatically create it down here for you. And this will not go through the regular scythe, but you can put it through the heavy scythe. And again, this is processing 9 blocks at a time, and that's given us some iron ore pieces, some aluminum ore pieces, nifty stuff. You can improve the efficiency of extracting items if you get a better mesh. So if we take a look at our meshes, you start off with string mesh. If you look at string mesh, if we look at uses inside of the heavy scythe, and we scroll through till we find, let's say, gravel, you'll see that we can get iron, a 30% drop chance, but if we get the flint stiffened mesh instead, and we do the same thing here, let's go find gravel, it's a 40% chance. And then with iron, it's going to be something different yet again. So we'll scroll through till we find the gravel, and as you can see, not only do we get a better chance, a 50% chance of getting iron, we also get other objects potentially, like whatever these crystals are from Thaumcraft, which I've never used, but is a fun mod that people like. You can get a wub gem. I also don't know what that is, but you can get one. That's all going to have to wait till later, of course. Let's open this up, and hey, guess what I did? Give me my reward, which is some mechanical crafters. Could also be very useful. Next, it wants us to make a crucible, and we might, again, have everything we need for that. I think it's like so. Yeah, there we go. Get ourselves an oak crucible, and get another reward. So in this case, some black lotuses. All right. Not sure what we need that for, but we've got it. So with the crucible, you can plop that down and you can put various greenery in there. You can put leaves. We're going to put in saplings. And over time, the saplings are going to break down and turn into water, which is important because as you can see here, the next thing it wants us to do is make some clay. We're going to need water for that. So remember earlier where I showed you you could do this and it would give you some gravel? Well, that's important. Let's get 9 gravel because we're going to make we're going to do a compressed one. I'll show you what I mean. So 9 gravel, you can break that again to get dirt. You can break it again to get sand, and then you can break it one last time to get dust. We are going to do something a little bit extra here, a little bit next level. If you thought this hammer was something, you ain't seen nothing yet. We are going to create a series of hammers. We're going to need 9 of them, in fact. Okay, so we got our 9 hammers. We're going to put them all up there in the crafting grid and get ourselves a compressed hammer. Then we're going to compress our gravel, and the compressed hammer can break the compressed gravel down to 9 individual pieces of dirt. Go back over here, press K, get our compressed dirt. This is time-consuming, but if you're doing it with a whole lot of them in one go, it's much, much faster. Same thing, press K, get compressed sand, and that'll give us 9 pieces of dust. Is this done yet? Not quite. When this is done, though, we're going to right-click a single dust into here, and it's going to turn that dust into clay. And we need how much clay? Looks like just a single clay will do. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but this is leading us down the path to get a cobblestone generator, which we've already done. So when we get there, we'll probably just have to make a pick, break this one up, and it should give us the reward as if we crafted it. Because the game doesn't really know if we've crafted something. It only knows that we have it, in our inventory. Look, that was slightly shocking. A tree just sort of randomly grew there, and I was not expecting it. All right, so the crucible is done. Put our dust in there. Hey, I'm really excited to see what we get from this. Oh, my goodness gracious, we got a repair talisman. That is spectacular. So by virtue of simply having a repair talisman in your inventory, it will slowly over time, look at that, you see the durability on the stone crook going back up? It will repair our tools slowly over time by just keeping that in here. I wonder if it works in a bauble slot. It doesn't appear... Oh, well, we can put it right there in whatever that slot is. Is it still working, though? Is it still repairing this? It is! So it doesn't even have to take up inventory space. We can just have it up here in our baubles section. That is amazing. And now all of our tools will slowly repair over time. Now, it is still possible that you can break your tool before it has time to repair if you're doing a bunch of heavy mining or something like that. But otherwise, that is really cool. It does refresh in your hand, which can be annoying to look at. So we're going to pan on over to something else while that's happening. The next thing it wants us to build is the Crucible, and that is to get lava. That's going to require that we get some additional items. So for a Crucible, if I spelled it correctly... here it is, and it requires an unfired crucible, which requires 7 porcelain clay. Porcelain clay is a combination of bone meal and clay, which means we're going to need to fight some skeletons to get bone meal, or there are other ways of getting bone meal. We can take a look at it here. If we sift, for example, dust, there's a 10% chance we'll get some bone meal, and that might be a better option because that doesn't involve building a monster spawner. If we do build a monster spawner, we can build a quartz grindstone and grind up the bone, and a single bone will give us a bunch of bone meal, 4 bone meal. Taking another look at it, it's a 10% drop chance with a string mesh, but with a flint stiffened mesh, it's a 15% drop, so pretty likely. What we can do to get the flint stiffened mesh is just take our string mesh that we already made, and then get 3 gravel, like so, and that'll create flint, and then we need 6 flint. Flint like wood. Great film. Strongly recommended. Sequel, not so much, but I mean, it's not awful. That'll give us our flint stiffened mesh. We'll plop that down in here, and it's unlikely we'll get it all from this, but I can make... Oh, look at that. We've already got our first bone meal. How about that? That's spectacular. I can make more dust in a second if I need to. In fact, we're going to need to put 1 in there, and we now have 2 clay. Plop those down, and we can break them, and that's all the little clay orbs we need. All right, I'm putting the flint stiffened mesh over here into the heavy oak scythe. I've got 20 compressed dust, and I'm going to hope for the best here that we get a ton of bone meal. Let me put this in a better order, because otherwise it's going to drive me crazy. So it should put... Oh, there we go. Our first bone meal right there in our inventory. We got 3 now. We already have 1 porcelain clay made. Oh, we have enough. That's all we need. We only needed 7, correct? So the 6 of those with the 6 of these, that'll give us the 7 porcelain clay in a U shape, gives us an unfired crucible, and then from there, it's just a matter of getting some more cobblestone and building a furnace, and then we can cook this thing up. We have some options on how we want to go about this. What material do we want to use? I say we go ahead and make some charcoal. So for charcoal, we're going to need some sticks. I think maybe 2 sticks and a single oak wood ought to make us a charcoal. I need you to grow. I need more wood, please. You need to be more proactive about this. Okay, charcoal and an unfired crucible. We could have just used sticks for that, but I want to create more charcoal here in a second because we're going to need torches in the next phase of our adventure pretty soon. So after cooking that up, that'll give us our crucible. Hot diggity dog. We've got a tree also that we can cut down with our gunpowder, because what else are you going to do with gunpowder, really? What, make TNT? What kind of crazy people are we? So, once again, we get another awesome reward. A reinforced conversion kit? What does that do? It's from Thermal Foundation. Fully upgrades a block to a given tier. May be used on any lower tier. I don't know what that is, or what that means, but it does seem exciting, doesn't it? So now we need to take one of our charcoal here, and we're going to combine it with a stick to get a torch, and we're going to stick that torch in the ground, and this will all make sense in just a moment. Crazy to think we've done so much with stone today and have yet to build a pickaxe. So the torch goes there, the crucible goes on top, and now we can start putting cobblestone in there to create lava. So this is usually how you would go about making the lava in order to build the cobblestone generator, which we didn't have to do because we just happened to get one as a random reward. I just realized that we can now, if we wanted to, break our cobblestone generator and get a reward just for having it in our inventory. There it is. It thinks that we created it. Nobody tell it. That's going to give us some more epic bacon. Well, that's not the best reward, but I could have started starving out here, and we need food, so maybe it's not too bad. Right, Pet Rock? I decided to take the 9 stacks of cobblestone that we've got now, courtesy of the cobblestone generator, turn it all into compressed cobblestone, and now I'm going to turn all of that into compressed gravel, which I will then begin sifting in an effort to get a bunch of iron, because there's some tools I would like to make before we go to the mining dimension, which is our next stop. It's where we're going to find a lot of ores. It's not the only way to get ores, but it's certainly one of the most straightforward. Do you think this is going to work with one hammer, or do you think our hammer is going to go bye-bye? What do you know? It survived, and it will now begin repairing. That is the greatest thing that I think we could have ever gotten, is that repair talisman. Oh my gosh, that's going to save us a lot of time. All right, time to begin the Great Sifting, which is where I stand here with my finger held down on the right mouse button for the next 30 minutes. And there we go. At long last, that process is finished, and it might have been worth it, I think. I'm going to stick all of this up here and then just click Balance Grid. So we have enough for 45 iron ore chunks, which will give us 45 iron ore ingots. If we look at uses, it should show us that, yeah, we can put them in a grindstone and get 2 pulverized iron. So we could double our output. We could also do it with a mechanical squeezer, but we don't have any of these things at all at our disposal. We could build a smeltery. That would be an option, but that's all for a later date. I think for right now, we'll just go ahead and cook it up the old-fashioned way. That'll give us about 16 of them. We also got some copper, some tin, aluminum, osmium, lead, lots of coal, lots of flint. That means we can turn the rest of our charcoal, if we wanted to, into torches. And believe me, we want to, because we're going to want those when we go to the mining dimension. We're also going to want those for a little project I got planned back here at home that I'm about to show you. Boom, 5 iron ingots. Been waiting on this. This is a great item right here. It's an iron hammer. Now, this isn't to be confused with the compressed stone hammer and the other stone hammer that we had. This fellow right here, what direction should we go with it? Oh, the liquid lava's done. We'll touch on that later. There's something we need to do with that. I don't know if we're going to do it to stick. I had a plan. Okay, you know what? Real quick, we'll take our iron. We will make ourselves a bucket. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the lava out of there, and we're going to remove that torch. Or I guess I should demonstrate first off. You see how underneath the description of the item it says rate 1? That's our melting speed. That's the speed at which it is melting stone into liquid lava. And what we can do is we can put this under there, and it will increase the rate to 3. So it's now 3 times as fast. There are things that are substantially faster than even that, and we'll get to those at some point in the series, but for right now, we'll just kind of leave it right there. I'm going to take my chance cubes, and I'm going to take my chances. Oh, you know what we should do? We need to be smart about this. So let's make some doors, and I'm going to create an area where we can open these chance cubes without potentially ruining the rest of the place. Anyway, this is what the iron hammer does. It breaks a 3x3 space. How cool is that? So we're going to go in a little bit, and then we're going to build a door probably right here in the middle. Just break these blocks behind it. There we go. Put a torch to either side. I want to keep monsters from spawning. And then this direction, quite a ways, I think. We're going to go and start putting down our chance cubes and see what happens, and hopefully nothing horrible spawns and tries to kill us or destroy our base or anything like that. Put some more torches down. Need to put a lot more torches down just everywhere because it's so dark in here. I'm tired of living in darkness, friends. Let's leave all of this behind. We're not going to need any of these things. We're going to bring the hammer, but only because we are all out of space to store things. All right. I'm going to put it right next to here. Should we make a sword? Should we make a sword? We might need a sword. It depends on what spawns. We have plenty of iron, so I guess we might as well make a sword. And we might as well make another chest, because why go in there with hammers that we don't need? Or quest book, for that matter. If we're going to lose something, let's only lose these 3 items. I don't know how bad this could get. I'm not sure what the worst thing that could spawn is. Oh gosh, we might be about to find out though. Chance cube down. Sorry folks to take you out of the video, but because it was running a little bit long, I decided to take the opening of the prize blocks and move it into its own half-episode side thing that will be uploaded later today. And if you're watching this in the future, if it's like the middle of summer or winter 2020, I don't know when you're watching this, but it will be in the playlist. It might even be the next recommended video if YouTube is working the way that I think YouTube should work. If not, check out the playlist in the description and it'll be there. While you're down there in that part of the video, why not click like if you enjoyed this, subscribe if you're not yet, click the ring bell. I hate myself. Don't feel obligated to do any of those things. However, if you're curious to see my original StoneBlock series, which ran for about 25 glorious episodes and was cut short by the release of StoneBlock 2, I will also link to that down below. And if you want to join the greatest community of people who keep me accountable on a daily basis, check out my Discord server. It is absolutely fantastic. And before we go, a big shout out to all of my Patreon supporters. And if you would like to check out the Patreon, maybe, you know, throw in a buck, get access to the Minecraft server. We have 2 now. I'll link to that down below as well. But now we go. Thank you folks for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you later. Bye.